Well, if you love to laugh, then we have just the event for you. Indy Celebrity Stand-Up, hosted by comedian Scott Long and benefiting Best Buddies Indiana. Now, Scott is here as well with the Visit Indy CEO, Leonard. Thanks to both of you for being here.
Good to be here.
I didn't have any choice. Your producer's like, could Leonard be part of this? I'm like,
okay.
All right, yeah.
What can folks expect tomorrow night?
Well, I've been doing comedy for 25 years. I've always been based in Indianapolis, and I was like, you know what would be fun? One day I was sitting down having lunch with a local sports writer, and he's like, well, I'd like to maybe try doing comedy sometime.
Okay.
Like, let's do a big celebrity event. I couldn't find anybody else that wanted to do it. I had to take the C team, like a couple other people to do it. After that first year, it was such a big success that all of a sudden then all these people in the media or local, you know, dignitaries and less dignitary type people wanted to be involved. So it's so fun because it's kind of like an open mic, Beth, you know, but with people you know, and you're like, that person seems very confident and cocky at what they do. And then they get up on stage and they're like, what's the biggest fear that most people have?
Yes.
It's not like jumping out of a plane.
Speaking in front of people.
And being funny.
Yes.
And they're like, whoa. So really been a great success. This is the 5th year we've done it. And I'm kind of proud. I don't think any place in the United States has ever done anything quite like it.
Well, Leonard, this is your second time doing this show. What's the bit like this time, and are you happy to return? Were you nervous the first time?
Well, you know, I get to be a little bit of a different person at this show than I get to be running Visit Indy on a daily basis. And Scott and I met a couple of years ago. He did a podcast with me right after he did a podcast with Mitch Daniels, and so that's when I say his podcast jumped the shark. It's pretty much it was over at that point. But we both have special needs kids, and this really resonates with me, and I'm really excited to be back for a second time.
Very good. Do you have a theme to your bit?
Well, you know, I have to kind of establish why I'm a celebrity in Scott's world. People are expecting him to trot out Peyton Manning and Papa John, but he has to settle for a guy like me because I'm free. Yeah. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the convention business. I have been on 2 industry magazine covers, and so, you know, in my world, that's 2 more covers than that audience. So.
Yes, I like that. Now, Best Buddies of Indiana, can you tell me about the connection there, Scott?
Yeah, well, as Leonard brought up, we both have children with, you know, some kind of developmental disability. My daughter has been involved with this group called Best Buddies. They kind of are a splinter group of Special Olympics. Those are the 2 ones that are the closest to my heart. And what's wonderful about Best Buddies, you're like, what is that? What happens is kids in schools, like from intermediate schools up through high school, will like pair off and have friends that are typically developed. And it's obviously great and fun for the kids with disabilities, but I always speak about how awesome it is for kids that are just, maybe you think, oh, maybe my child doesn't really appreciate what they have, and do they learn things like empathy and things? It took me till I was 45 to even know what the word empathy was, okay? And these kids, it's just really beautiful. So I'm really super happy to support them. I'm going to be doing a big fundraiser for them, not only that night, but through the month of September, October, and November. But Friday night's the big celebrity event.
Well, very good. We want to mention that all of the money, the proceeds here, will go to Best Buddies Indiana. Tomorrow night, the show, 7 o'clock to 9:30 at Crackers Comedy Club in Broad Ripple. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. You get to see Leonard Hoops do his bit, Scott Long's hosting, and a whole bunch of other celebrities, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back after this break.